Yeah. Yeah. You know what it is. That straight kingdom talk, baby. You know how I'ma do it. Right. And I ain't going nowhere. 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 So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Watch me hit him with this 1-2 knockout KO. This time it's all or nothing, and I ain't playing around. They tried to overlook me cause I wasn't in the in crowd. Well, I'm back at it, so you know what's going down. And I'm all up in their face, so they gotta see me now with that raw lunch.
Boo!
What is up, everybody?
Oh, was that choppy to anybody else? Like,
No, I'm thinking
no,
you're
man,
having connection issues. I got a notification somebody was, and then you locked up a little bit when you were talking right before we went on. So I'm thinking it might be something there.
It's showing I got all
I was
green
just
bars
vibing out.
over here.
Good.
I ain't
So I don't
going
know.
nowhere
It's
because
strange.
I ain't
All
going
those green
nowhere.
bars.
Anyway, I'm good. I'm back. I'm here. It's Friday. It's not just any Friday. It's a
Oh, no.
5-star Friday.
Ooh, Javon in the house already.
Just kidding. I am your boy, Tony Clap, aka the Chatham Up Champion, the Clapback Kid, Mr. 5-Star, and I am with my peeps. And my peeps are Ryan the Originator. Hello, Ryan. How are you?
Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, everyone.
I'm digging a goatee, my guy. I can tell you're rocking a goatee.
Yeah, Ryan had an accident this week with some clippers. So Ryan.
I thought you was doing it for the month, like some Malcolm X.
No, I'm
Black
Malcolm
History
X.
Month,
It's my black expectation Malcolm X period. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, you rock it well, my guy. You rock it well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're doing
it. And we got everybody's crazy ass uncle, Mr. Fish.
What is up? Pop, 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 pop. Glad to see everybody. Glad to be here on this amazing Friday. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody's excited for their weekend. Glad to be here.
And last but not least, the phenomenal one.
Woo!
What's up, Fee? How you doing?
What's up, Mr. 5-Star? Happy Friday, everyone. Yes. So glad to have everybody here. So excited for this topic. I wasn't even traumatized. Y'all want me back. It's cool because it was fun. I was cracking
They
up.
play rough over there. I ain't gonna lie. They play rough.
I
did good. I feel like I did good. I rewatched it. I feel like I did good. I pat myself on
What
the
is
back.
up, J-Man?
I did good.
J-Man, what's good? No, man, we ain't even doing the verses today. You don't have to get hostile.
JD Smith, no, not today.
I don't want to cry no more, JD.
Yeah, JD, we ain't trying to cry no more. So we didn't do a verses today. Ryan is actually the hostess with the mostest today. He's got his own topic. He picked the topic for the week. Ryan, tell the people what the topic is,
he did.
and we can get this party started.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Let's go into this by get real black up in here. It's gonna get real black. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's Black History Month, y'all. So, in light of the beautiful February, we're going to talk about our favorite Black heroes. So, it's going to get real black, real urban, as they call it, cultured, as they say, So,
family affair.
Family
Let's go.
affair. That's right, feet. Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah, let's go. No, but now we're gonna discuss what impact, what's our favorite hero from the jump, and then we're gonna talk about how they influence us, how they influence culture, pop culture, and geekdom.
Nice.
Here on the Agents of Geekdom. I'll kick it off. JD,
Talk about
JD's
it.
in the right lane, because for me, I'm a horror kid at heart. I grew up with horror. I grew up with monsters. Even my art is mostly monsters. If you don't,
They
I
dope though.
like to draw monsters a
They
lot.
dope.
So, like for me, what really influenced me was a character named Blade. From
Hey.
1973, created by the great Marv Wolfman and Gene Coleman. Back in the day of 1973, half you niggas don't know what that is because y'all weren't born.
I was not.
You didn't have to go
I don't
there.
think.
I
Wait,
had
was you?
no,
Ooh.
but I'm way over.
I
there.
was
Oh my God.
2 years from being born in 1973.
Yeah. So for me, Blade is a real big one for me. Half vampire, half human, as they know, called the Daywalker. He still influences me all to this day.
Fish already had his beard that year. Hey, he was born with it.
Man, I was tripping over it. That's why it's so hard for me to learn to walk. That and this big old head.
Stop it.
See, J-Man knows how it goes. J-Man knows up in here.
So Blade
see?
is like one of my favorite characters of all time. And he's
Michael Watson, I'm on the show, my guy. You're calling me. I'm on the show. Like we're on the show.
Did Michael forget it was 6 o'clock?
Man, how you run the Agents of Geekdom network that you can find a show on 7 days a week and not know that there's a show tonight?
You can find it on the YouTube. You can
There's
find
a
it on
show,
the
Mr.
Twitch. You can find it
Watson.
on the Facebook. You can find it on
There's a
Twitter.
show, Mr. Watson.
Okay. I'm going to get back with you on the game, Michael Watson.
You can go and subscribe on the Amazons and all kinds of things. You can hit the subscribe button on the Amazon of Geekdom. On the Agents of Geekdom, you can hit the bell notification. You can do all that stuff on the Agents of Geekdom network.
It's pretty bad when the boss forgets that your show is on the same time.
That lets you know that you're top tier talent right there. Keeps you humble, keeps you honest.
Keeps you humble, man. Keeps you humble.
But there's many black characters that influence me in a lot. But Blade is pretty much the primary one that really pushed it over the edge because, he had a more mature scene, a more mature vibe. Dealt with the occult, dealt with, the supernatural, and he's a vampire. So for me, you can't go wrong. Those are all top tier things in my book.
That whole horror resurgence in the 90s at Marvel when freaking Ghost Rider came back with the power and Midnight Suns came out, Blade. And, dude, I freaking ate that stuff up. Morbius' series, I devoured every piece of that. That's what made me fall in love with inking with a brush. That changed my artwork forever after that. It was huge, and Blade was a gigantic part of that for me. Absolutely,
Blade is my goat.
Let's
That's
not
my
mention
goat, Javon. Blade is my goat. Tony, what about you?
Well, I'm feeding off of yours for a second, and then you can ask Fish the question. I don't want to go next. I'm gonna save it for last. No, I'm kidding. I was just gonna say with the Blade, not only that, but he said Blade is Marvel's real life hero because he saved Marvel, right?
100%.
There would not be an MCU without Blade.
There'd be no MCU without Blade. Blade
100%.
saved Marvel. So when we're talking about a real life, he was Marvel's real life superhero. So
absolutely,
go ahead and put that. And Blade 2 will always be a movie that I am forever just grateful for and thankful for. My
Blade 3 for life, yo.
My 8th grade class, the whole 8th grade school went to this film and watched this film, and we were so packed in there that people were sitting on the steps. It was crazy, and I just always will have that memory. And Blade 2 gave me that memory. Blade 2, same.
Y'all don't let stuff go that well.
What? Man, come on, man.
Everyone thinks X-Men startled the movie.
You need to come correct. We on current events right now.
Blade was the catalyst.
Quit
Absolutely.
talking about the Punisher, J-Man.
We done. The Punisher done got punished. He done took his licks, left the building.
And the
We're
X-Men
talking our favorite black
the X-Men
superhero.
done beat up the Avengers, so we're 1-1. Let's go. Fish, go ahead.
All right. Now, I was honestly going to think that I was probably the only person out there that knew this hero, and it might seem silly to some, but I mean, I've been thinking about this ever since we hit on what the subject was going to be, and I was racking my brain, because I love a lot of characters, dude. I love freaking Hardware. I love Static, man, just about everything that came out of Milestone. Steel, freaking forget about it, dude. Man, you give me a dude that can build a suit of armor like that, like him and Hardware, I freaking love it. And I loved them so much more.
All day, brother.
I love them so much more than Iron Man because, like, it seems easy for him because he's rich, but to see somebody coming up from nothing and have to do this with just their sheer brilliance of mind and ability to scrounge, I freaking love these characters. But when it comes down to it, like my favorite, that deepest love, one of my first favorite superheroes, period. Okay, I liked Madness. I did. But
I love Black Man and Meteor Man too.
Freaking man, and J-Man said it with his early one. Brown Hornet, dude. I freaking loved Brown Hornet when I was a little kid. I loved the freaking Cosby Kids, and the Cosby Kids worshipped Brown Hornet. So I was like, dude, I want to be like these kids. I want to be in their gang when I grow up. So I loved me some Brown Hornet. And I was just going back and watching the cartoons. Woo! Some of them didn't age quite as well as others did, but man, most of them are awesome, man. And I just love it. He was fun and he was awesome. And I was so young, I didn't even realize, what a big deal it was that their main superhero was black at the time. This is a cool dude, man. And I loved it. So, yeah, I mean, he's my first fave, and I love him.
Nice. Ladies first. Ladies
next
to last is what ladies is.
It's a lot of ladies all of a sudden. No, just kidding. I could say, I cracked myself up. I could say that Storm was, coming up. That was a big one for me, just because, again, she was the queen. She was leading out here, doing it, leading the team. Just again the X-Men series, watching that with my dad and stuff, and just kind of him telling me a lot of the stories of various characters, T'Challa, and I don't know, that was really cool for me because I would just ask him questions all the time about various characters and how he had the one comic book where it basically had all the different species and different ways so you could draw them. I thought that was always cool, but Storm was always like an OG for me.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Strong choice.
You can't go wrong with Storm.
Oh yeah, no,
at all.
She is solid. She is a solid choice.
Yeah.
And that also goes to like a generational thing because, like, when each one of us grew up and like what was available to us easily in media to consume as a kid is very, very different. Because, like when I was a kid, the black heroes I saw like on TV were the Brown Hornet, Harlem Globetrotters, and Black Vulcan on Super Friends. And that was it. But, then later on growing up, you get, Green Lanterns and all kinds of awesome stuff. So it's
the
cool.
Harlem Globetrotters are awesome though. I freaking love them.
Oh dude, I loved that cartoon so much. It was so goofy, but I loved it, man.
Yeah, Curly. Oh, legend.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I enjoyed me some Hammerman too. As silly as it was.
Is it my turn?
Yep, it's your turn, man.
So.
Yes.
I was waiting on Ryan to tell me to go. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Tony.
Okay.
Tony. I'm kidding.
You can go.
Oh, thank you.
Future.
Is it bad that I have more than one? Is it okay to give more than one?
No, you can have as many as you like. I was just specifically saying
within the next 44 minutes.
Right. My first has gotta be Bruce Leroy, the Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
Bro.
Enough.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Right.
Just because there was a point when I was a child that VHS was on repeat. I thought I was Bruce Leroy. Okay? I gotta go with Bruce Leroy.
Vanity.
Next, I cannot do this without saying John Stewart Green Lantern. But if I'm talking about one that had the most impact on me.
Oh, dude, Mr. T.
Oh yeah, Mr. T. I got a little. I got like a lightweight, nice little Mr. T collection. I have a whole like little in my toy display little section dedicated to Mr. T. But anyway, yeah, well, that's it. Static Shock, man. Static Shock is
good one.
Mine, and I knew it as a cartoon before I knew it as a comic. Like I knew the comic book, but the cartoon is what got me to go back to the book. When the Static Shock cartoon came out,
Javon pulling them deep.
That's a deep.
Okay, Javon, what's the name of the kid from the Bionic Six? I want to see if you know that off the top of your head.
I was about to say,
Panthro, son! Represent!
Panthro is black. You're right, Jay.
Absolutely.
He is
Guess who else?
Black.
Guess who else is black? Piccolo, Dragon Ball Z.
Absolutely
Piccolo's a black dude. I don't care what nobody say.
What about Goofy movie?
They all black.
Yeah, they all black.
They all black.
Nobody says.
Get it right. Get a thank you, Fee, for pointing that out. That is the black Walt Disney.
Oh, I stumped Javon. I don't know either, but I stumped Javon.
But yeah, Static Shock for me. When the cartoon came out, I was close to that same age.
The Spawn changed the game.
Can I finish?
I thought you was finished.
You keep cutting me off with your little bottle of water floating in and out of the screen because you got the little green screen background, so your little water just keeps coming in.
Just teleports out of nothing.
Y'all know what? Leave my water out of there.
Excuses.
You leave my water out of this.
Done.
Excuses, Javon. That's all I'm saying.
I'm done. Static Shock is my main one. I was about the same age when of Static when that cartoon came out, so his neighborhood was similar to mine. I dug it. What? Bro, don't be putting disrespect on Static Shock, J.D. Smith. That's it. I'm done.
I will admit, like, I have several of the original Static Shock comics. I did not love him as much in the comics. Like, my first interaction with him, he came off kind of as a smug little turd, when he was interacting with some of the other guys that I already loved. Yeah. And so I didn't love him as much, but I bought the comics. I fell in love with him with the cartoon. I mean, I just fell in love with him there. And so I will admit.
The comic now, completely fire, because they have an artist that's on it that grew up watching it and has a true love and passion for Static Shock.
That's awesome.
So that to me is dope. And I was able to get those issue ones, hopefully see him one day and have him sign those, just because it's nice when somebody who, like, if you grew up loving a superhero and then you get to be the main artist now for that character.
That's cool.
That's dope. Cool. He did a lot of fan art and it got in DC. DC was like, yo, this dude's killing it. And then they put him on a series, which I think is that's like a dream come true, I would imagine, for anybody. So Heat's all right.
That's almost enough to make me want to start doing fan art.
I like Heat. Heat's all right. I like when I'm warm. So like when I turn the heater on.
Oh yeah, when it's cold out, ooh, it's the best.
Yeah, the basketball team, the Miami Heat, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I like them. I don't know anything else that's Heat. What are you talking about, Javon? Like a heater, or like Miami Heat, or
I know he did. That's the Beyonce.
He's just stirring shit up.
That's the Beyonce.
It's like, yeah.
All right, crew. Next
right.
question.
What's up?
Yeah. Since it's Black History Month,
Okay.
let's
Okay.
keep it black. Keep it real.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
What?
Go ahead. I said,
Go
go
ahead, buddy.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Friend. Pal.
All right.
Buddy.
Okay. What do you believe for you guys? What do you think? What comic book character? What African American hero, black character, you feel changed the game in the comic book industry?
That's right. I remember it now that you say that. Change the game.
Change
Man.
the game.
God, I mean,
there's levels to this. I wanna first and foremost say that. Like we've already talked about, if you're talking about big changes in impact, like we already said, I mean, Blade saved Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm
what
not saying
I can
Blade
listen
saved
to
Marvel
right now.
You know what I mean?
I would
huge
have.
impact.
I mean, Miles Morales would be up there at the top of my list. John
That's
Stewart.
one.
Yeah,
That's one.
Miles did that. He did that.
He did that. He did that thing.
and then if I'm gonna be
Ironheart's left a hell of a mark. Pissed a lot of
completely
people
honest,
off.
I mean, Black Panther 1, the movie. I mean, what it did for the culture alone. I mean, what it did for the culture can't be touched. I mean, Black Panther, the movie, was bringing out people to the theaters who didn't care really about superhero movies at all, but they wanted to go see that movie for what it represented and what it would represent. I mean, you had more kids dressed up as Black Panther, whether they were black or white kids or whatever.
Whether they were ever comic fans,
you know what I
they're now
mean?
Black Panther fans.
So you'll never be able to take away what Black Panther 1 did for the culture, I believe. For the culture. Yeah. For the culture.
Even the recent one, it was really cool to see people dressed up in like white for, just like the changing of like the king and stuff. That was cool. So yeah, that's one too.
Okay. Ryan, what was your opinion? What was your answer?
Yeah. For me, top three would be Spawn, 1992. Spawn was a game changer. It made people notice a hero.
Fish invited me. Fish invited me. So I'm gonna give y'all 10 minutes of awesomeness. Go ahead.
Man, when I made that comment, he wasn't on here face to face. Now I was
I had to invite him.
I was being a keyboard hero, man. Now I gotta face this man face to face.
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide, Jody.
Has entered the building. He's on 5-Star Fridays.
This is my cameo for the week.
It's not 5-Star without Javon popping in. That's part of the show.
I'm just trying to have fun, y'all. Faye, I apologize again. That was a lot.
It's good. Just we repping the culture. We enjoying it here. Don't try anything crazy. As you was doing Tuesday.
Yeah, we ain't gonna let you come. We're real protective over here on 5-Star Friday.
I was fine. I was holding my own. It was funny. It was fun. I was good. Promise you. You could look at it. It was great entertainment. It was quite funny.
So Ryan, you were saying Spawn. You had two others. What was the other two?
Yeah,
Spawn, because there was a lot of white in 1992, and then some black came out in 1992, and it made waves. And that character, his name is Spawn. So that was a game changer for a lot. We've already mentioned for current events, I feel like Miles Morales has made an impact on the Marvel universe as a whole.
Absolutely.
in that guard and that respect for a lot of young kids, you know, and minorities for POC. Next one, of course, I mean, for me, it was like, you know, Blade. Blade did save Marvel. Marvel was almost bankrupt. If it wasn't for Blade, there would be no Marvel or the MCU in general. Because after Blade, it spawned Spider-Man, it spawned all those X-Men movies, and then went into the MCU of it all. So those are my three that impacted a lot, you know, for me as growing up, seeing the advancements of all kinds of, you know, comic books. You know, the X-Men cartoon also made waves. You know, we had
Halle Berry.
You need to leave, JD. You need to leave. You need to leave right now. I don't even consider that goddamn movie. That movie is atrocious.
JD over here trying to get banned.
Is absolute garbage.
Hey, listen, there was one great thing about that movie.
What was that, Javon?
I mean, we can all figure that out.
I mean, Halle Berry was fine, but that outfit was still trash as well.
That was a beautiful outfit.
It was trash.
It was a beautiful outfit to see Halle Berry in. It was
I don't know how you can complain about that outfit. Say hi to everybody.
What up?
He said hi to you.
But I think for me, like for Black characters in anything that's represented for any diverse or any kind of minority is always a good thing to see.
Yeah.
Javon, what? Oh no. Since we have creators on the people who write Black characters like Fivestar and Heat, and we have some Green Zone characters, what heroes or personality traits influence your characters?
Good. Am I going first?
Bro, you didn't. I just did a whole dance move to.
I mean, I thought you were having a stroke. I
did the whole.
I'm the one with Tourette's. I do the weird stuff.
I did the whole.
I
don't even know what this is. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'll leave that. Okay.
Tony just transferred into Electric Boogaloo for a second.
Yeah, I'll leave that alone. I left that.
I got to give you crap because you clowning my.
I already know, bro. I'm trying to make it up. That's why I was making that special for you. Like, go ahead.
I've always told people that the character who most influenced Heat, the creation of Heat, is two. Static, because to answer your question from before, to me, Static was probably the most influential Black character in the last. I mean, when was he released? Mid-90s.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk to as many creators that Black creators that are out now, a lot of them point to Milestone as being the impetus for their understanding that they can do it. You know, like, oh, okay, we can do it too. So I got to give Static. I know Icon and Hardware came out before, but Static was the one that became the bigger of the process. So it's Static, and then there's John Stewart Green Lantern. I've liked John Stewart ever. I mean, I was one of those dudes that was like, if it's a Black character, I like it. Like it could be the most whack character ever, but I was like, oh, he's Black, I like him. I'm good with that. So to see like Green Lantern, this big name hero, be a Black man, because you know I collected Green Lantern Mosaic. Like I was one of the 12 people that collected Green Lantern Mosaic. So my son just told me to TV up. That I would say those two would be the Black characters.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I mean, I've told it before. Kevin Terry, he's based off of two people that I know in real life, and those were the people that were making an impact in my life. So I wanted to portray that in my book. Kevin Aldridge, Terry Shores, two people that impacted me, still impact me daily. still impacting the neighborhood that we live in, still fighting for the neighborhood that we live in daily, every day in and day out. So those were the people that I wanted to portray in my book. So that's why I did what I did with Fivestar. And Agent D is another person that's real life, and then Kevin Terry's sister also. So all three of them characters are based off of real people that are making daily actual impacts in my community today. So that's where my inspiration came from. As far as like I mean, same as Javon, Static, and Green Lantern, John Stewart, both more than anyone else, I would say. But we're talking about inspiration. It's the real life people that's inspired. So that's my.
Was that your spill?
That's mine.
That's your spill.
Done.
Boom.
Fish.
Yo,
right?
Yeah. Well, like in Green Zone, Claire Walters is one of the training officers, and I hate to sound self-centered, because I do take a lot of things from people that I know and, pick up traits and stuff. But most of the characters in Green Zone that I write are some piece of me taken to the furthest extreme. And, like Virgil is absolutely what it feels like to be bigger than everybody else and have people be scared of you for no reason when you're a nice guy. And Bellamy, covered with razor sharp quills, is my fear of hurting people, because if I step on your foot, I break toes. And Waters is really my perseverance and determination to get back up every time the world and life kicks me in the teeth. I get back up and brush myself off and ask for another swing. And so that's who she is. You're going to find out more as the book goes on. This is her third try at getting citizenship, and she has gotten screwed every time. And if she doesn't make it this time, she'll probably never make it out. And she's so close. So she is so bound and determined that she's not going to let anything get in her way. But in the midst of that perseverance, she's still determined to do her job to the best ability that she possibly can, not take anybody's shit about being different than everybody else, and not let anybody tell her what she can or can't do. And, so.
Nice. That's dope.
That's awesome.
Jay, man, damn it. I've already
I know, man. I just read that comment. I'm like, Ryan's been talking about Spawn the whole time.
But for the culture.
Yes, sir.
For the culture. Okay, for the culture. Has anybody watched any Black Exploitations movies? Has anybody? Fee?
I missed you at the end of the question. Say that again. I'm sorry.
The blackness of it all. Black exploitation movies. Have you watched any movies? Like
Yes.
Blackula? Anything like even
Man, if Pam Greer's in it, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
Any Pam Greer movie is one of those movies.
Yeah.
Thank you, JD. JD know what's up.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Most of those movies inspired a lot of Black heroes, actually, in that kind of state, in that kind of stuff. For people who don't know, we had to strive to get it. Milestone was the pinnacle and the breaking point of starting something new. Much like Image, there was Milestone. Milestone came in the 80s. Image came in the 90s. We know all that, But if it wasn't for Milestone, I don't think we would have these kind of talks or these kind of, understanding of these characters in today's society. Hardware, Rocket, all these people. If you read those books, they actually had the first LGBTQ couple in there. Like, there's a lot of things that occurred in Milestone that was a first for everything, that transcended a lot of things, So for me, I'm glad we have this diversity, because now in today's culture, in today's hindsight and all this stuff, we're seeing a lot more diverse characters in movies and seeing a lot of more activity. Like the new big bad is a person of color, in the MCU, that we would witness next Friday, Kang the Conqueror. So for me, seeing these kind of things has been something of a blessing, and having us out there be represented as something new always. For me, unlike the mid 2000s, how they just did Storm dirty in the X-Men movies. Each character that was a person of color got like 1 to 2 lines in a movie. You didn't see any kind of growth or character development. Even
everybody got shafted in those movies except for Wolverine.
Spawn's movie was absolute trash. For me, you didn't really get a hindsight about the character. So I like that we as a whole and as a world right now are living in good times right now to see people of color be represented in such incredible, amazing ways. Bishop, what?
I got a question.
What do you want?
That I want to bring to the groups.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just something that you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 1,000% with you. What is your guys' take though on some of the things that they're doing, like Marvel's doing it, DC's doing it, where they're just changing a character's ethnicity just to say we have
the
representation.
Yeah,
we check that off. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, as the creators, as people, you know what I mean? Like, I know for me, it's like there's characters that are being created by indie creators that could be picked up or could be used or could have Netflix series for this and that. Why do you have to change a character? And then, but I'll also say there's some characters that I could care less about if they change. You know what I mean? If it doesn't impact the story and it's not like completely taken away from the character, like most of the time I'm okay with that. But I'd rather you just come up with something fresh and new that's really like that shows me more that you're trying instead of being like, oh, random character on the X-Men team, you're black. You're the black guy now. Random character on the
We're just gonna turn Johnny Storm black, so he's representation.
Yeah, narratively, Fish is on the right track. Narratively, there was a terrible Fantastic Four movie made that had Michael B. Jordan in it.
Exactly.
And he was a black Johnny Storm. Narratively, for me, that didn't even remotely work. Like the chemistry between her and his sister, Kara Mara, who played a terrible and invisible woman. None of that worked. You could not believe me that they were brother and sister for fucking years. It did not work at all. So that for me was check marking something to have a diverse character, because it was a trend at that point in time to have somebody who was a representation of some sort of color. Like back in the X-Men days, back in the early 2000s, everybody was accordingly to what their ethnicity was in the books. Same thing for Spider-Man, same thing for all that. So for me, when we're in the MCU right now, I feel like, or anything with DC, if we're changing colors, narratively, I don't care. It just, for me, if it's about how the story is. If you're not seeing the color or the person, it doesn't matter to me. None of that matters to me, long as it's a fleshed out, realized 100% character in a movie or story. Ethnicity has nothing to do with me. A lot of people wanted Namor to be Asian or white in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah,
I'm glad he represented the Latin. I
was gonna say that.
All that.
When you have
a case like Namor, it's like
I don't care.
Yeah, when you have a case like Namor, they to me they did their homework. They did their research on the culture and they captivated that culture. And instead of just that's what I liked. Instead of just being like I said, oh, we're gonna randomly make the Human Torch a black guy, but he's still got a white sister, but she might be mixed, or you're just, what are you doing? Like you're
get work
just
it off.
doing that
You're
just
just
to
shuffling.
say,
When you
Yeah.
jump mediums to like TV or movies, I don't really care if you make major changes there. I don't care that you change up the costumes. I don't care if you change up the lineup of the X-Men a bit.
yeah.
I don't care if you jump to the movies and you make Peter Parker Puerto Rican. I don't really care when you do that. When it's a book that's been established for a long time and you just switch somebody, that kind of bugs me unless there's a reason for it. Now, like, Sam taking over for Captain America, that makes sense in that story to me that he would be somebody that would be tapped for that. He's been Captain America's best friend for years. Like that one doesn't bother me as
I'm
much.
glad you brought that up. Yeah.
But also at the same time, these are corporations and it's a money thing. That's why they don't make a whole lot of new movies. They keep remaking old movies. We know, Who's Coming to Dinner was successful 50 years ago, so we can redo that with Eddie Murphy and, be pretty sure it's going to be a hit rather than take a risk on a new writer with a new idea.
Talk
And
about
to your
it,
point-
bitch. Talk about it, bitch.
So, making a new Black Spider-Man is easier, make that Miles Morales, than trying to bring in a whole new character and hope fans like it, because they do introduce a lot of new characters every year that nobody pays attention to. They grab hold of one like Gwenpool and it goes nuts, but most of the other characters get lost and forgotten about. If you make him a new Spider-Man and then they wrote an awesome story around it to explain who he is and why he is, that's an easier sell to people to be, oh, you like Spider-Man? Here, try this. I
They
get
did it,
it, but there's like right ways to do it and there's wrong ways to do it. But I also, I was in a conversation like this, I'm thinking like 2 years ago or something. And my take at the time was, I don't see why we need to change it. And I want to say it was Mike Watson was like, no, we absolutely need to change it. We need to force it because it's not being done. And I really had to think about that for a while, and it really changed my opinion of things and made me start looking at things more critically. And like my grandbabies that are screaming in the other room are brown, and I'm looking to see like how many characters look like them out there. And I'm specifically buying comics and books and toys and stuff for them to see themselves in and inspire their imagination that I could be this hero, I could do this cool stuff. And I get it more now than I did,
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing up the point with like Captain America and Sam is like his best friend, because I was gonna say the series for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, when they did the end, how they kind of showed commemoration to that time and how there were soldiers that were experimented on. I enjoyed that part of the story because it did have a good it was like it went in, like they put time into it. It wasn't like it was just a switch. So I was like I could appreciate that it was like it allowed to touch on a couple of topics in that moment and still just be genuine as the story progressed on how Captain America was obviously, where he was in that point. I mean, obviously, spoiler. It's been a while since it came out. I'm not trying to spoil it, but just watch it too.
If you haven't watched it by now, you ain't gonna watch it.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Earmuffs.
Uh-huh.
I'll give my point on this, and then I gotta go because I have a restless 4-year-old. I've had this conversation with a lot of people, especially Michael Watson. I've had this a couple times. I'm jaded as a comic book fan because I've lived through this before. Like what they're doing now is not different than what's been done previously. We've had Black Iron Man before. James Rhodes was Black Iron Man. We've had we had Black Captain Marvel before. Monica Rambeau was Black Captain Marvel.
Loved her.
What bothers me about the trend is the impermanence of it. Because a lot of the new versions, they're cool while we have them until they want the old versions back, and then the new versions get pushed to the background. I've made, and now on top of that, they never get referred to as the real version because you're always putting the black in front of them, right? Like I had this conversation, like I said, I had this conversation with Michael Watson, and I'm one of the people that like Miles isn't Spider-Man. He's like, what are you talking about? He is Spider-Man. I'm like, no, he's the black Spider-Man. We don't call Peter Parker the white Spider-Man. We just call Spider-Man Spider-Man. It's always it becomes a quantifier. And that's where I take issue with it, because if you told me, it was like the Wally West, like I use Wally West an example of how to kind of do it right until DC kind of undid it. But Wally West was the Flash everywhere for like 20, 30, almost 40 years. Like, he was the Flash. To the point where there are a lot of people that be like, yeah, Barry Allen, you ain't the Flash, bro. Like, that to me is a level of permanence, and I hate that they undid it, but that's what we need. If you're going to do it, it needs to be permanent. And like, I'll give an example of Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel. That's more or less permanent. Carol Danvers isn't going to go backwards to be Miss Marvel again for the most part, and Kamala Khan has kind of transcended the comics, and people know her as Miss Marvel. There's no real reason to go backwards. But like Sam Wilson, he'll be Falcon again. I mean, he's Captain America now for a minute, but he'll be Falcon again. Miles Morales is always going to be referred to as, he's always going to be the Black Spider-Man. And it, like I said, there's a sense of cynicism there, but it's the truth. And what I would like for Marvel to do is not take, like a Fish alluded to it, is not take the easy route. The easy route is slapping some black melanin on a character and being like, hey, we've got a black character. And, great, but how long until we okay, let's do a black Thor.
And then they will always be the black Thor and not the real Thor.
Right. They'll never be the real versions. So instead of doing that, how about you go focus on characters that were already black from creation? Blue Marvel is just sitting out there waiting. I'm glad they're using Monica Rambeau as Photon, Spectrum, whichever name they want to give her this week. But there are so many characters like Fish brought in Steel, Vixen. There's so many characters that's just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to get an Ant-Man type glow up where, there become something more than just a black character sitting on the back burner. So that's what I want. Like, I mean,
indie
comics is a separate thing, but if we're just talking the big two, they've been doing this for a very long time, and there are a ton of Night Thrasher is sitting there waiting to be used.
Yeah.
If you want to do a black Batman, Night Thrasher's right there. Blue Marvel's right there. The whole Milestone slew. Icon's been sitting there for years. And all I keep hearing about is let's do a black Superman. Icon has literally been
Icon is right there. Yeah. Freaking do his movie, man.
So that's where I will always.
I'm hoping that James Gunn digs into that toy chest a little bit, and we see that.
I mean, I hope and pray, but he answers to like, you can't really expect too much. Javon raises valid,
well thought out points. Yeah. Like, this isn't off the cuff, but like you said, he's been having this conversation a long time.
I've been watching the comic industry for a long time.
The other point taken is that people need to see people, and that's the thing. They need to see somebody that represents them. A lot for me, it's like, it's nice to see Little Mermaid be black and have little black girls be like really excited to see themselves. But what is the point narratively on why you're doing that? Are you checking the box just to say, oh, we have a black mermaid now? Or is it going to be represented in that story on why she's a person of color? So for me, if you're going to do the same damn story, you're not doing anything new. So, like, that's the thing.
Yeah. They did a real good job with Namor of making that change an intricate, well thought out part of who he is.
And it fits now. But my thing is that how Javon says, we have characters that are out there and not being seen. And like anything, we're just making check marks. Well done, Javon.
Oh, and even when they did it, I don't know if any of y'all watched New Mutants. I watched like
Oh yeah.
20 minutes of New Mutants, and they lightened the hell out of Sunspot. Sunspot is a dark skinned Hispanic,
Right.
and they made him look like Ricky Martin.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like that you I can get
Ricky
into a longer
Martin?
rant, but you see these things where it's like they don't want to give a chance. They'll give a chance to Ant-Man. They got no problem doing, Guardians of the Galaxy. Sean brought up the fact that Shaquille O'Neal was Steel. There's an amazing article about behind the scenes on Steel, on how cheap that movie was made.
Terrible.
It's
There's
obvious.
There's so much that it was literally Shaquille O'Neal talks about it all the time. But like if you're not gonna give the same effort that you give to all these other heroes that get a chance, the boys, all these other heroes, they get opportunities, lesser known characters. So I don't want to hear the argument, well, no one knows who Vixen is. Who cares? No one.
Yeah, but the boys is nasty, and nasty will get all those little white boys, that are 18 and under, in to watch it on,
Yeah, but no one
Amazon
cares.
Prime.
No one knew who Ant-Man is. Not everybody ready to see his third movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ant-Man got 3 movies.
and I was just having this conversation with somebody like,
right, man.
Realistically, if you're talking about back in like a few years back, well, let's say like 10 years back, and somebody was like, "Yo, you're gonna be super excited to see Ant-Man 3 when it comes out." Back then, you would have been like, "Huh?"
I'd be like, I would say I might, but it's got to be like straight to VHS or something, because ain't nobody else watching this.
Like the level of excitement that I'm having to see this Ant-Man movie, right? Like, wouldn't have happened then. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're able to take these characters and make them bigger than what they were. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason to what Javon was saying. Vixen could easily blow up into something if you've done the right way
and the momentum, so people can be wanting to back these characters
the right way. It can be
done. Man, Steel would kill it.
That's why I'm so pissed they canceled the Batgirl movie, because that was another person of color that is just getting the shaft. And I mean, if it was absolute trash and it was I still wanted to see it.
Yeah.
So it's a thing for me that, yes, it is good to see representation, but there's still those boundaries. The reason why Ant-Man has 3 movies because it's led by a white man. Like, the white man is the lead. Everybody know who the fuck Paul Rudd is. Okay, so he sells tickets. And they're really pushing. Now Jonathan Majors, because he's now a big name in Hollywood now. So it's good to see all that, but it's not Jonathan Majors' movie. So
he's gonna kill the role though.
Oh, I know it is.
Oh man, he's gonna nail it.
Yeah. But Tony,
what's up?
We got announcements.
Oh,
we do.
We do.
Do we?
I think we do.
We do.
We do.
What's he announced? Oh, I forgot.
I'm done. I'm leaving.
I didn't forget. I was playing it up.
Absolutely forgot.
Fish really forgot. I've
got brain damage though, so I forgot.
Guess what, everybody?
What's that?
Fivestar Fridays has officially hit its 2-year anniversary. Oh, back when we first started, and Fish was my first guest.
Go figure.
February 5th, 2021. It's when the anniversary took place, or when the first episode took place. So next Friday, we are having a celebration episode right here. Fivestar Fridays. We are celebrating. So come celebrate with us. Come join us. Come hang out with us. It's a celebration. As we just celebrate 2 years of Fivestar Fridays and the growth from me being down in my basement on my cell phone
Me sitting
half
on
a
my
screen,
bed because it's the only quiet place in the house.
half a screen with Fish, to now having three other members with me.
We got intros and outros and
we look pretty legit.
commercials and
Yeah,
all kinds of doodads.
so it's exciting stuff. We're excited to hit 2 years. Ryan, this has been a good show, man.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy Black History Month.
Yes, for sure.
Happy Black History Month to you too.
Yeah, thank you. I will celebrate in fashion.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna go hug my grandbabies.
There we go. So 2 years in, Ryan, heck of a show. You killed it. Very thought provoking.
Hercules.
I don't have anything else for the people. Does anybody else have anything else for the people?
We out.
Happy Valentine's Day. Hey,
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. There we
Happy
go.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah. Send your little hearts out to the peeps.
I ought to start thinking about that, huh?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, thanks for reminding Fish.
Yeah, thanks. I forgot that was even this month.
Yeah. So everybody continue to be a 5-star version of yourself. Keep growing, keep killing it, keep being consistent. Get out there and get after it. And make sure you come and join us next Friday and every other Friday to follow, because we like hanging out with y'all. Hopefully you like hanging out with us. You can have your friends get with my friends. Have your friends get with my friends.
I'll hang out and argue about comic books.
Run that
so
outro.
Here we go. All right. Run that outro.
See y'all.